y'all. Welcome back to another episode of From the Bottom. Like I said, y'all never know who we're going to have on. Today, we have on Arthur, bodybuilder, ex-football player, actor, the real-life Hulk. He's the real-life Hulk and a game designer. That's a lot of jobs right there. I have on my guy, Tommy, Big Tommy, Tommy Rice, like one of the coolest guys I know. We've been trying to get this going for a while, ever since. Man, it's been, I don't know how long you think
it's been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, Tom, I'm gonna quit talking. I'm gonna let you introduce, tell the people who you are.
My man, Cal, thank you so much, man. From the bottom, I'm really, really glad to be here. We have been trying to get this forever.
Yeah.
It's been a while. We know each other. Our kids play together. Like, this is one of the best guys I know. And to be honest, it's an honor for me. So, thank you for having me again. And I am all those things, sort of. At least I'm trying to be what you're telling me, what you're telling everybody out there. I'm a Southern boy from Alabama, Georgia area.
Down south.
Down south, the real south. People are like, you mean Olympia? I'm like, no, not in Washington State, in the south.
That's what I get that too.
It's so funny. But, no, we're out here in Washington State, so we got to represent that. We're doing good, even though it sounds crazy. But, I'm an ex-football player who turned author, and my book, The Lock, has been doing really well. And I actually am starting doing the things that make me passionate. So comic books, movies, the culture now that we go through, because, we're more likely to talk about what happened with the Lakers in a sports game as we are the newest movie on HBO, or Netflix, what's streaming. And so that comic book culture, the thing that got me going, along with my sports background, brought it together for me. And I wanted to sort of share what makes me tick, what makes nerds tick, I guess nerd culture, but it is not nerd culture anymore. It's just culture. It's just us as people. And that's sort of the cool thing about everything that's going on. We get to show who we really are. So I'm trying to bring that out, trying to show it, because I go to Comic-Cons, comic book, conventions, and in those things, we'll probably touch on that, but when you see a dude, almost 6.5 foot tall, 300 pounds walking around, you're like, what is this? This guy doesn't look like a nerd, but I'm a true blue nerd. Like, I love talking about comics, but then we can talk about, the Seahawks or the Packers or whatever. So I'm trying to bring it together, bring those loves together.
So I got a question.
Yeah.
Because it's not too many football players who write books.
I can't even read, much less write. Right?
So yeah. Did you always know this is something you wanted to do when football was over?
Man, football being over, that hurts. But yeah, so I've always been a good storyteller. People would talk to me and oh man, what about this? And me and my friends would reminisce. You and I talk all the time. When we get to talk, we start talking before we know it's an hour later. I love telling stories. And one day, so I won't get too deep, but a few years ago, and it's been a while now, but I lost my father. And when I lost my father, one of the things I started doing was writing. I was actually sitting in LAX, and I just started putting my notes down. And what it turned out is when I was a kid, things we would do, he would always encourage football, encourage sports, but then he was an artist. That's what he did. He worked with Thomas Kincaid. He's worked with some really good artists. And we would always come up with stories of heroes. Building little Legos, things like that back in the day. And we'd come up with these cool stories. So I thought, man, I'm going to start writing it down just in honor of my dad. I was sitting there. Just my best friend had been, he died. He passed away, and it crushed me. So I took it and used it to start writing. And then I talked to one of my good friends, Chris Michelson, who actually is passed away not too long ago himself. That hurt.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was rough. He's a good dude. He's young from a heart attack, so that's crazy too. But he said, this is really good, Tommy. You should start writing it. So I took off and I started writing. And the thing, and we'll probably get into it, but Star Wars is amazing. Lord of the Rings, it's amazing. Harry Potter.
That's my movie.
Is that your stuff?
Lord of the Rings, that's my movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Precious, baby.
Yeah.
But those have already been done, and they're masterpieces. So what I try to do is take the best of all those things and put it together. So that's where my book comes in. A little different.
Oh, that's not bad right there. That's not bad. So what was your inspiration for writing your book?
Mm, that's a good one. My inspiration, it'd have to go back to my father. It would have to, because so my driving force, I was an Army brat, okay? We moved everywhere all the time. I didn't see, like, the people that I knew on the base were my best friends, you know? And once you move, you got to learn to talk and you got to learn to fight. And being the big kid, I had to learn both, because you couldn't talk out all everything, you couldn't fight out everything. So when my dad, he always just encouraged it. And as we moved around and had to move, I had to develop some type of, just to where I could be open to anybody. Because I'm a big person, and it's sort of, I got that bias, if you will, of like, oh, the big guy, he's big and dumb, or he's violent, things like that. And you know me, I'm I'm a big idiot. And so, I had to get through that, and I did take martial arts, things like that helped me discipline. But what it all came back to was my father, and then I had a really good support network with my friends and my mom. But my inspiration have to be my dad. Now, there are some heroes as far as, like, I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger movies back in the day. Loved Arnold. Loved bodybuilding. My grandfather rather, was Mr. Georgia. Like, pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there is some of that in there too. And my grandfather, my father's dad, he played Doc Holliday in, like, the old ghost town, Maggie Valley. So he taught me how to shoot with an actual 6-shooter. So I pulled from those when I actually started writing my book. So there's some real life stuff in that book, but just, most people don't know.
So since you was like an Army brat and you moved around so much,
Yeah.
so you had to have an imagination.
Oh man.
It's like a safe space for you, because you every time you probably got attached to somebody, y'all was moving.
Oh yeah. No, that's a great analogy. That's a great way to think about it. We did. I remember in 1987, and that's telling you how old I am right there.
That's old as dirt.
I was a little kid though. I was a little kid. Okay.
Oh.
But we moved from Germany. We're flying back here, and one of my best friends, Brendan West, I gotta get a hold of that guy. But we went to his house, and it had just been Christmas. He had all his G.I. Joes and Mass toys and Thundercats, all the stuff that we had back in the day, Transformers. And it was horrible, because he had been my friend for 3 years, inseparable. Me, him, and Steven. Steven was a great guy, one of my best friends. Actually, you remind me of Steven. Really easygoing. He was a good dude. But Steven Jackson, we all were good friends together. And then I moved. And it was devastating, because I go from Germany in a barracks, in a base with Army people, to the south, right into Georgia. Just throw me in the ATL. And then it's just mind-blowing back in like 87, 88. You're coming in, what just happened? Everything was uniform, everything was structured. Yeah, so imagination, man, I had to go to a lot, interact and try to meet friends with anything I could.
That make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
A lot of sense. So were you always into comics growing up? Like, that you had like all the magazines and the figurines and
And you know this, man.
Oh,
I did. It's sad too. But so truthfully, I have a really good comic book collection. My dad, who was in comics back in the 60s, he had like Daredevil #1 through first 100 issues, Silver Surfer #1. He had some old Captain America. Oh yeah. We had, I think, Spidey 12. Like, we have some good issues. And so I have always been a comic book fan and taught to keep them good. Actually, one of the worst things that ever happened, we were coming in, we're in Georgia, coming in from the rain. I had to carry some comic books. Now, luckily, they weren't super valuable, but I came running in, and at the last second, I sort of tripped, and 3 of them flew out right in the mud puddle. And you're just like, no. So you get the rest in, you run back out, you try to get them and lay them out and dry them. Of course, those comics were never the same. But yeah, man, I was a comic book fan with the toys, and then when X-Men came out, the cartoons. Oh yeah, it was great.
So you collected comic books like people collect baseball cards.
Yeah, yeah. And I love baseball and football too, the sports part.
Yeah.
But you're finding now that comic books are still going up. Actually, DC fandom today just kicked off with the new Batman trailer, with Justice League. They're going to do on HBO Max. And that's what I'm talking about with the culture. It goes back to, that's just stuff that happens every day. People are looking forward to that, and especially with the pandemic and things going on. They want to see streaming. They want to see what's next. And it's hard. I mean, that's why you and I are doing this Zoom. I mean, we're 3 miles away, something like that. For football.
Yeah,
Right.
probably could walk to your house if I really wanted
to. You could. And so that's what makes this such a huge thing now with the culture, is because we want to see the new stuff. So yeah, no, I collected cards just like that, just on comics rather, just like cards. And now when the comic book shows do come back, they're still going up in value. It's only getting better, more popular. And it's something that I have that there are some issues that I've sold, but most of those are a couple that I'm going to keep forever because of my dad, because of my good friends, things like
that. Nice. So, as I said, that you are Arthur, and can you let people know about your book that you put out? That he put it out. He did his thing, and he got some. He sent me some pictures that I'm gonna put in in this episode as well to show y'all some of the stuff he gonna be talking about.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to do what I always do with the comic book cons when somebody hasn't seen my book, heard about it. Once you see the pictures, you're going to start to realize, oh man, this guy's coming with it. And so really quick backstory, I did put it out to some of the bigger companies. Penguin Press looked at it, a couple people, and I had some biters. It was pretty good. However, I talked to some friends and I didn't like the contracts. I didn't like the way things were pushed on me, right? I wanted to be my thing. I wanted to do it the way I wanted to. I worked so hard and waited so many years, I could wait a little bit more, right? I want the best product for my people. So I self-published is what I ended up doing. But I do have a publisher now. Everything's going good. But I just put it out there just to see what people thought. And they loved it. The response was great. Actually, in last October in LA, it was voted the #1 independent book, which was amazing. I was so honored.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was comic book online. They're the ones who did it. It was so cool. They were there, put that out there, and then voted #1 of the best presentations. It's just been getting more momentum. But if you took Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, the look of Harry Potter, the old classic feel, the Avengers, Mighty Heroes, slam it all together and set it in World War I. Okay?
Yeah.
It's never quite been pulled off. Now, so World War I, II mix, it's my own world, but all the stuff in there has been looked at, it's been thought of, and it's been referenced. Like, those are real weapons. When I talk about a 419 howitzer, it's what a real gun was back then and in World War II. Those things will hit you from miles away. So the Boer War, that's an actual war that really happened. That's in my book. And you're starting to read it and see things. I mean, you and I live here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
Seattle's right up the road. And in normal times, you go to Pike Place Market, you see all that stuff. I wrote areas of the South, of here, of places I've been in there. So people see it and they're like, why is this so familiar? Because it's real. It's part of us, So if you took all those major things and put it into one book, I mean, it's something from everything. And you're like, why does it seem so me? It's because it is you. I wanted anybody, no matter who they were, to open the book and find something they could commiserate with, someone they like, or something they like. I want it to be open for everybody.
See, okay, so this is the question I got right here. Since you self-published, right?
Right.
When you finally finished your book, because a lot of people I learned are scared to take a chance on themselves. Right. Were you scared that you wasn't going to sell any books when you put it out? What was your vision when you put your book out? What was your goal?
You're always, when I played football, I played college football, tried out professionally, made it professionally, got cut, nothing really took off, but I always tried, okay? So I went the same way with this book. I was scared, but I just did what I always do. I talked to everybody I knew. tried to send it out there, and I knew people would support me. So was I scared? Yes. But you have to bet on yourself. And that's one of the things people have taught. Oh, yeah, you got to. You know.
Yeah, I know.
People have said to me, they're like, well, are you going to sell out if they get you the contract? No, I'm going to buy in to me. You don't sell out, you buy into yourself, and you make that product even better. And that's what I did. And I'll have to admit now, I put it out, people loved it, but then I got feedback. And one of the first things that I found out was the issue that I had published had spelling and typing errors. And I'm like, oh, they're going to think I'm big and dumb. They are going to think that. And I had to recall them. I had to put a new book out. I had to get it out. And I finally got it properly edited to make sure it was the right copy. And that's what you have now, the actual copy. Now, what I did do, though, is, you know how back in the day you get like the Han Solo action figure with the action grip, but yours didn't have it for some reason? And then you find out 20 years later, yours is worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's what I did with my books. And I did that on purpose. Some of those books have special things that are tweaked and changed so that everybody that supported me before I made it has some kind of cool collector's item.
What?
This is the first place right here that I'm dropping that information. No one's ever heard that.
Exclusive.
On the bottom right here.
So, okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
So, you know, since Lord of the Rings really like took off and stuff like that, and, you know, a lot of the movies like Harry Potter and stuff took off also.
Right.
What's your vision for the low? How big do you think it can go?
Man.
Speaking into existence, Tommy. Speaking into existence.
You got to go Tommy size. my friends would make fun of me because they'd get a burger and I'd get a Tommy size burger. It's like this big. It's like this big. You got to come big. I think it's going to do excellent, actually. And thanks for people like yourself who see the passion that I have, who see what you've done. Because I've been hustling. I have been working to get this done. Okay, and so I appreciate that. But no, man, I think it's going to go big. Actually, I'm in the works with some of the best people. Sebastian Jones, Stranger Comics. Stranger has been supporting me since we met. Like, those guys are tremendous. And Stranger, actually, with Princess Penny, are doing the Asunder show on HBO. Now, that was released. They've already known about that. HBO released it. So happy to know those people, and I can't wait to hopefully work with them in that area, in that movie type area. As of right now, we have book 2 that's about to drop. Book 1 is doing great, and then we're going to do a game. So electronic and board game. Right now we're in the mix with the board game, with Mythic Games. They've really helped, really stepped up. One of the best companies really that I've worked with. They're a French company, great dudes. And the Gen Con just last month, it was Gen Con Online. Actually, no, this month, started this month.
Yeah.
They took over the Gen Con Twitter, Instagram feed, all day Mythic. No one's ever done that before. So it's a great company. They have another thing that they're actually doing. The new game they're actually just about to launch. This is one of the Brightbusters is my favorite of their games, I think, so far. But they're about to come out with some brand new stuff. And hopefully from that, we're going to build off of mine. So we'll just have to see how it goes, but they've really been helping and mentoring with that process and showing up some stuff.
See, that's what's up right there. See,
Thanks,
that's the type of inspiration I like on the show, to let y'all know that, if y'all take a chance, ain't no telling where it can take y'all.
No, man, it's just talking to people. It's meeting good people and telling, like-minded people and buying into yourself. And really what it is taking that gamble on yourself. And let me make sure I answer that question. I think it will be a show. I think it's going to go extremely big. And that's my goal, to see somebody at a comic book con, see a toy of it, see a figure of it, see a comic book of it, and then go to see the show of it. And the cool thing is, when I first started this, my love of bodybuilding, I was taking my shirt, because I have my own logo shirt, and I should have wore it, just to show it out there. But I took my own shirt, and if you get the shirt, which they're going to be for sale soon, people buy out every show I go to.
Get merchandise.
That's right, merchandise. Well, see, that's the other thing. You got to make sure you're set up with that too. And it's all about talking to people. The presentation I gave for Gen Con with Mythic Games this last month was about how you do it yourself. how you actually take it out there. It's on my YouTube channel, the Lock channel. Go check it out. It's up there still. But in those shirts, I mean, think about it. You go to a comic book convention, you see a kid. They know comics. You know, they might be a nerd like me. They might have to move around like I did. What if they don't work out? What if they don't know that they can be their own superhero? When you get one of my shirts, it actually has a workout in the shirt. So you open it up, and like, well, anybody can do it. It's something that I wanted to push on kids, especially now, man, that we're home alone all the time. Like, you know, you can go outside, run a block, do some push-ups, get to be your own superhero, and then come back in and read my book.
Yes, health is wealth. Health is wealth.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, so that let me see. What is it like? Because I know you travel a lot. What is it like to be a part of multiple Comic Cons?
Man, yeah, you know more than most. I mean, when
Yeah,
we always met, like, where you going this weekend?
yeah. You travel like a celebrity.
But, oh, well, shoot, I don't know about that. It's pretty nice. It feels nice, I tell you that. Multiple Comic Cons. What's it like? I tell you what, it's fun. It's fun to go to a new city, see new people, and then show them the passion you have, not just for your stuff, but what they like too. Because, you know, they want to tell you too. And that's one of the best things for me is the interaction, man. I love talking to people and hearing what they have because you never know the next idea that's coming out. I'm down in LA, like I said, in October at LA Comic Con, and I met a guy named King Vader. I didn't know who this guy was. Tall dude like this, he's a black guy, came up. He's like, the kid that was sitting next to me, he's like, oh, there's King Vader. I'm like, who's King Vader? King Vader saw me. I saw King Vader. He walks over, says, what's up, man? I gave him a poster. We just started talking, and he's one of the bigger guys on YouTube that does his own movies and like he was on Esquire, I think. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one.
Yeah.
But he's doing great things for himself because of the same stuff we're talking about. Buying into yourself, doing everything you can to make your brand the best you can. And so I got to meet this guy just on a whim, and it's things like that make this special, that make Comic-Con special. When you go out and meet people that you're like, you just assume they're these glasses, people living in their basements. It's not like that anymore, man. It's me, it's you, it's everybody we know.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, what was your favorite Comic-Con spot? Now, don't get in trouble for you answering this. They could be like, well, I seen the interview, and you say, who's your favorite city?
Yeah, you're right. You're not coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know, I've been to a lot. A ton on the West Coast. LA was great. LA's up there. So is Rose City. But in the South, they have some good ones too. Like I think my favorite, because of how open they were, was Gen Con. And that wasn't because anybody else was any worse. Like LA Comic Con was amazing. Rose City Comic Con, Emerald City, that's here. And then some of the southern ones, I'm trying to remember the name, but I don't want to misquote. But Gen Con was right by and at the Indianapolis Colts facility. So right there at Lucas Oil Stadium. So me as a football guy, I show up and I'm at Lucas Oil Stadium. And then there's a bunch of comic people like me, game people. And that's when my game started, where I met Mythic. And I think that's why I like it the best. My guy, Dave Taylor, one of the best people to know in miniature gaming and painting, he was there. And we just started talking. And before we know it, it was one of the best times I'd ever had. Met so many people. And the Gen Con people are mostly local here in Seattle. So we had Seahawk fans, people were like, oh, Tom Ross, I know you, stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Like, that's why it was so probably special for me.
So was Gen Con in Indianapolis, is that the biggest, or is LA the biggest?
So the biggest Comic-Con is probably San Diego, without a doubt. San Diego Comic-Con is the biggest, and that was great too. I was there last year. They didn't have it this year, unfortunately. San Diego was tremendous. Now that I think about it, San Diego's the biggest, and you got New York, Chicago. Although now I don't know if you want to go out there right now, but Chicago's a tremendous place. Then I would say after San Diego and New York, Emerald City Comic Con is great, and yeah, probably LA. Probably LA is the next biggest one besides San Diego. It's pretty packed, man. It's lit. If you get to go out there, it's fun.
Well, I know I want to take my family to the one in Emerald City. I just hear like how fun they are.
Yeah.
But I think we had missed it or something. I don't know what happened.
Well, I mean, and I know your family, they're wonderful. I could see them just seeing everything and just eyes lighting up, Tay running over the grass, something, stuff like that. And then you and your wife as mom and dads, you get to sort of be a little nostalgic. Like, oh man, I remember that when I was a kid. And so it brings out the kid in all of us,
Well,
And me.
I just think it's cool how the people dress up like that, and like they come out with the costumes, like that's like crazy how they put that much, effort and that much detail into their costumes and stuff.
I tell you what, some of the best ones there, they look real, and they call it their cosplay. They have the cosplay competition, and so Mythic wanted me to do a character for them this year. Unfortunately, it was canceled, but I was going to be Brick. He's this big soldier guy, and then we were going to do my own thing. But also, right up here in one of our schools, I won't say the school, but I was going to be the Hulk for our family night and our PTA, and we had it all picked out. I mean, I'm pretty big as it is, but I was going to get some platforms, do the whole green paint and everything. I was going to come in there like the Hulk. I would that picture of me and the Hulk. It's pretty funny.
Sure, I could have been like the water boy for you or something.
No, man, we get you a costume. We'll get you a good.
I could have been the water boy. Yeah. So I know we had skipped, but I want to go back because I know that you said you wanted to talk about some of the characters in your book.
Yeah.
So how do you want to start off as to like which character?
Well,
so he sent me pictures, and I'm gonna make them big for y'all. They probably small for small right now. So I'm gonna just go like this. Can you wait a minute? Let me make sure.
I'll edit them out. I know the ones I sent to you. The first was where we're going, and it's just a normal Reseum. The Reseum are the bad guys in my book. He's a normal Reseum soldier, but it's a 3D soldier. So I wanted him to see we're trying to touch on everything. So when you look at it, you're like, oh man, they are trying to do 3D games, stuff like that in the future, models and miniatures. But the first one's a Reseum soldier. That was for effect. The second one is what I call a war gear.
Can I ask you a question about your soldier?
Yeah.
Is he like a soul on the inside of his uniform? Because I see the eyes is glowing, and I'm just like, it's something like, is he like a soul in there or something?
Man, I tell you what, I'm gonna have to use that for the next thing. I'm taking it right now. No, so there is a character that is like that. It's called an astral. That is in my book. This one just shows you it's a powered armor and it lights up. Actually, it's either a human or it's a Reseum. Now, a Reseum is a purple-skinned humanoid person, so a purple dude, just like you or I. But they're different in the fact that they can withstand cold temperatures easier than we can. They just have a little different physiology than we can. But unlike us, we can actually use magic. Humanity can use magic, whereas Reseum can't as well because of their body type. And it's sort of written into my book on how they're explained, because they're actually a spacefaring race, very scientific. They have the best technological stuff, spaceships. That's where that Star Wars aspect comes in. They have tectonic fields that actually block lasers, block shots. And you'll see a lot of that in the book. It's that old Harry Potter castle look. Then it's covered by this cool electronic shield. And then they have tanks, and they have steam trucks, but they also have laser guns. And the reason I did it is if I want a laser gun or a dragon, why can't I have a dragon? By the way, there's a dragon in the book. I didn't want to pigeonhole myself, man. Like I said, I wanted it to be very open so that anybody could find something they like.
Okay, so what about the second?
Okay, the second is a war gear. So it's a metal construct. It's like a robot, but that's about an 18-foot tall metal robot. And it's runic, meaning it has magic imbued weapons as well. And you can see that on the tri-blazer or the quad blazer gun that he's wearing. It is one of the coolest things. The cool thing about it also is because it's magic, it's becoming sentient, meaning it's starting to come alive. It's starting to think for itself. Now, this is just some of the stuff I've already shown. When you start looking at my Instagram and other stuff that's coming out really soon that I can't quite show yet,
don't show.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's really, really nice stuff. But this guy can. And this is one of the warriors. That's Agrius. He's a really great character.
Okay. And what about the next person?
The next one is one of my Spartan paladins. He's actually Everest Cree, the Warhawk. What I'm trying to do there is to bring in my love of mythos, mythology, the Spartan culture, but bring it into that World War I, II aspect. Because what a Spartan paladin does is he can use, like Magneto from X-Men, he uses metallics. So he actually can stop bullets. He can throw tanks out of the way. The bad thing is, much like a football player, if you run 40 yards, by the end of it, you're going to be gassed. You're going to be tired. So they have to release their power so that they can actually do stuff. So if you look at his arm, when you see it, he has tattoo marks on his arm.
Yeah.
The reason is when they use the power, it's called the Magnus, it comes on their skin as a tattoo, and then it goes away. So once they use it, and then it melts back into their skin. So it's a really cool concept. But I wanted to bring it because he's one of my generals. He's one of my best generals. And you'll see some of my other stuff, but this is one of the best pieces of art. I love this piece of art because it shows you can be anybody. That's one thing. Anybody can do that.
Ooh.
Oh, it's hot.
I got another question. I told you question was gonna pop up. All right. Now, as I'm seeing these your characters, for some reason I just envision like a video game, like an Xbox or something. But like, would you rather it be like a real video game, or if Lego came to you, would you mind making it a Lego game?
Man, we are going Lego 100%. We are doing Lego. I actually wrote the book with Lego, with toys, with things in mind. So I just told you about that tattoo mark.
Yeah.
Think about if you got the figure of Everest Cree and you put it in the light, and the skin turns the tattoo marks on. Or you put him under water and it makes the tattoo marks. You take him back out and it goes back.
Whoa, Tommy, whoa, now.
Whoa, copyright, Tommy.
Yeah, I don't know if I see this, Tommy. Now you're giving away too many secrets. Now, come on. Come on.
Oh, yeah, you don't even know. This character, the figure we're already doing for him for the game, when you attack him, no, I'm talking miniature game, and it will translate into a video game. But he'll have a miniature figure about yay big. When you do that, he actually has special abilities that allow him to counter things just like the lore from the book. When you play the game, you're playing the book. It's all real. And you can change it up. Oh, no, it's written, bro. It's done.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, you was ready for that question. I didn't think you were going to. Okay, what about the next person?
All right, this is another one of the Spartan Paladins. This is Dominus Tor, and it's in one of his various suits of armor. So the Reseum, like I said, were very technological. They were able to, at a one time, there was a peace, an uneasy peace, and the Federation actually gave them magic and taught them how to use magic. And they, in turn, gave the Federation electronics, because the Federation was more like a steampunk type, barely getting cars started, things like that. Now they have that, able to make not Iron Man good, but like that type of powered armor suits. So you imagine these Spartan Paladins running around with power armored suits, this Magnus power, and they're Spartans. I mean, for crying out loud. They're the best of the best, right? So that's what he represents. He's one of their generals, and it's during the betrayal. I won't go into it. It's in the book, but it's in the betrayal.
Get the book.
That's right. Gotta get the book.
Is he your main character? Because I see the helmet shape, and I'm like, that's like your logo.
Yeah, he is one of the main characters, but unfortunately, I'm not going to ruin anything, but the king gets assassinated. His son, the prince, who's actually the lock, is missing. The world is in disarray. The governors are barely holding it together. There's another war overseas, and the Spartan Paladins, an undefeatable army that I just told you was amazing, have gotten beat. He might be dead, and I drop you 7 years after that, right in the middle of this conflict.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
The level of thought that you put into this book is remarkable. What about the last person? I could tell he's the big boss at the end.
Oh yeah, that's you right there.
He don't got enough muscle.
No, he's in the gym. That is Nimsor Vol. That is my villain, my Darth Vader. Notice his armor is very similar to the Spartan type armor.
Yep.
There's a huge backstory in that. He is the villain's villain, but there's a great tragic part in there that you actually don't find out till book 2. But in book 1, it introduces him, and he's just brutal. The way he looks. He's brutal and mean, but at the same time cunning and sort of cool. Sort of cool. It's that you'll start to realize in what I pulled from when you are able to read the book. And I hope to show it to you on the screen. If I'm blessed enough, that'll happen. But as it is, definitely read that book and you'll see that game. So.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See, what you just did right there is like some impressive type stuff right there. It's certain people who don't do. It's not every day that you meet a person who wrote a book, let alone a person who put like the detail in their characters in a book like this.
Thanks, man.
I can see you being the next Harry Potter.
That would be the thing, right?
Yeah, I got it right now. See you and your family flying over in a jet, be like, that must be coming right there, taking off from his house.
You can go with me. You can go with me doing the cast.
I got too many kids. I can't go nowhere.
Well, if it's the right jet, right? That's true. You got a lot of kids. You got a lot of kids.
Yeah. I'm going to need like a 747.
Oh, yeah, you are. Hey, to let people, all his kids are lovely. They're wonderful. I've known them since they were babies.
They like animals. They like animals, though. So
they are animals.
Yeah. So
like little crackers. They're animals.
Okay. So I got another question. I keep the questions going.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to follow in your footsteps, they seen what you did with your book, everything that's going on around your book, the action figures, the figurine, and all that stuff. And what advice would you give somebody who wants to do what you're doing?
That's a great question. First is don't be afraid of rejection. Second would be learn from what people tell you. Because I was a good storyteller. I wasn't a great writer. The truth is, I failed English in college. I could barely spell. I'm a little dyslexic. And I had to overcome that to do this. I had to reach out to people who's like, wait, you do good in English? Would you mind looking at this for me? And then through those connections, I found out better editing. And of course, I've taught myself how to write. And I'm good now. We have Microsoft Word, so you just spell check everything. So it's good now.
Yeah.
But I would say don't give up. If you have that passion in yourself, believe in it. Now, it's harder now because of everything, the pandemic and whatnot. But you can still reach out through social media. People have reached out to me, and I've given them advice before. You can reach out through, if you can, go somewhere live and talk to someone. But you can even just email people. Just shoot them emails. Ask everything you can and listen to those people. If you're passionate enough, don't give up on yourself. You can do something. Now, that's easy to say, but I've done it. I have been there. When I said I hustled earlier, I wasn't on the street slanging. I wasn't really hustling, but man, I was talking to everybody I could and getting ideas from anybody I could. Watching anything.
Networking.
Yes, sir. Excellent. Great word. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was networking. I was talking to the right people. And through those network channels, I found what I needed to do. I was able to meet these great people like Sebastian, like Benoit and Leo from Mythic Games. And I was able to do what I've done. I mean, and those are just a few of the main people that I've met. There are so many great people. I've met so many stars through this, so many people that said, yes, I will work with you. I'd love to work with you. And it's an honor for somebody to say that, because I'm just a normal person like everybody else. I look a little, I'm bigger, yeah, but we're all just the same. We all have our gifts.
Yeah, you got that.
I'm just trying to use mine. Yeah.
You got that right. Okay, this another question. This just popped in my mind. So I know that the entertainment industry is like an evil industry. Is the comic book and the comic book industry the same? Do you have to worry about people stealing your stuff, or
Yes, you do. Now, I wouldn't say it's evil, but it's cutthroat like anything else. One thing I did learn from my father, he invented a character. He put it, it's called Whiplash. He's a Marvel, he's a character. He invented him, and he went and showed it off to Marvel Comics and DC Comics and stuff. And actually, my dad was doing stuff for DC at one time, long time. Yeah, really, he was trying to. He never really got published, but I have some manuscripts that he did. But they stole it. They just took it right away from him and stole it. That character, the actual character in Iron Man that Mickey Rourke played, Whiplash, I can't prove it, but my dad actually invented that Whiplash character and showed it off. No, I'm not kidding. He had a meeting right before he went to college. He played for college football.
Yeah.
And so my whole point to this is he taught me make sure you're covered. So everything I have is copywritten, trademarked. And I have the contract, I'm set. If anybody takes my stuff, I will come after you. And I'll run a 47940, folks. Like, I was fast.
Well,
so that was a long time ago.
That was 20 years ago, Tommy.
Long time ago?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, Tommy. You probably run like a 9.8 right now.
I walk a 10 flat.
So, okay. So, thank you for answering that question. But so what's in your future?
And I want to tell you that big jet. I want to tell you all those great things. And I hope that's where we're going. I think that's where we're going. And if it's up to me, that's where we're going. I want to do a couple books. We have a trilogy marked out right now, and then it can go upward to 10. That's what my goal is for people that have really followed it. I've had some great fan support, people who like it, because I get to know people. And I love that they give me that feedback. That's one. Two, really looking at the game. That is a huge thing right now, especially with the social distancing aspect, with people trying to do that. Only sometimes they can come over. So by kickstarting, by doing games like that, and then inviting a few friends over, that's exploding right now, the smaller board game industry. Video games, of course, but the biggest thing is I want to get on the screen. We're looking at streaming. I hope that's where we can go. But the movies, there's nothing better than a movie. And I'd love to see my premiere. Man, I would. And people like yourself, my friends and family, and then, of course, anybody who's read my book. That's one of the best things for me is that feedback that they go, I saw it in my head. It felt real. It felt like I should be watching it on the screen, and then for them to tell me apart, and I'm realizing, wait a minute, it's not just in my head anymore. It's real. That is huge because I would love to show that on the screen.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. We gotta speak it into existence, people. Y'all getting it right here, right now. So when you just go big, you're gonna be like, "Oh wow, he said this stuff was gonna happen."
Well, I mean, you've seen. I've told you, and every time we've done it, it's happened.
Yeah.
So I'm praying we can just keep going with it.
I know you can. You got it. So you on the road now.
Ain't no I'm on the cast now. I'm here. I made it.
Shoot, I mean, it's a privilege having you on. I just like for other people to see that the stuff can be done. In the process that some other people took to get to where they're at. I always say that you never know who's gonna listen and what they can take away from the knowledge that you was giving out and stuff. So
that's true.
I really appreciate that.
Man, you too. And then, there's always, you can learn from every person. That's the best thing about it. You always learn from the little things from everybody, and it makes you who you are. If you can be confident in who you are, you're going to be successful.
See, that's what I'm talking about. All right, so this is another question I got.
Okay.
Who do you think we should interview next? Now, before you answer it, you got to have a plug to this person to help us get them on this show.
Ooh, man. Let me see. Who do I think you'd interview next? There's a bunch of people. And I have to pull some strings, but then I wouldn't have any way to call him back next time. You know what I'd love to see? I would love, just because he is one of the coolest people I've ever talked to. There's two that actually would be good. My friend Terrence, who works with Stranger Comics, or Sebastian Jones of Stranger Comics, and the CEO. That guy he's been a mentor to me, become an amazing friend. His family's come out. We broke bread together at Duke's restaurant right here.
Yeah.
Duke's is, me and Duke's, we're like, that's what we do. That's what we do. Family right there. But I would think that guy. And if I can, I'll try to get him to talk to you. That guy is a busy man, but I'm gonna try because you're my guy, man. You're the best.
Sure, we appreciate that.
Man, we'll see. I'm gonna have to pull hard. We'll see if I can do it.
Oh no, even just you just like saying that and just thinking of it. That's good for me.
Oh man, no, absolutely. You deserve it. Look, you're doing the same thing I am. We're right here together.
Oh man, we trying to take over one area at a time around here.
That's right, one area at a time.
All right, so as we get ready to wrap it up, is there anybody you want to send shout outs to?
Oh man, I should have had that list ready.
That should be automatic.
That's right. Well, of course, the family, the wife, the kids, all the people that have been helpful through my process. My family has been tremendous. Got to go with Sebastian Jones. Got to go with really mythic games also. Leonidas. What I'm saying. Leonardo's another guy. Leonidas, Benoit. Those guys are tremendous. Stranger Comics, the whole Stranger Comics crew, that they were awesome and everything. Everybody who's helped me with the Comic Cons, especially with Gen Con. Dave Taylor, he's been great. There's so many more. You put me on the spot now. I feel horrible because there's so many people. That's the thing.
We get the wrong person. Yeah, I know you didn't even give me a shout out.
I was going to say Cal. I mean, that's the main thing. The main thing. There's so many people that have helped me through this. I do want to show the love, and that's the thing. As this goes on, that's what I want to do is turn around and show that love, show them the appreciation that they deserve because they're all great people.
See, that's what I'm talking about. So, at the end of the show, we always give an inspirational quote.
Oh, really? You know what? Before you do that, Josh and Daryl May, like those guys from Stranger have been tremendous. We sat down and they one day we brainstormed in LA together, and by the end when we came out we were fried, and it was really cool to see. I can't tell you what it was about. Let's just say that it should be good. So.
Well, yeah, don't give away the top sauce, the secret sauce.
That's right. No, we can't do that. It's not ketchup.
Yeah. You're gonna speak it into existence, but then you wait till it pop off, and then once you get that green light, then that's when you let everybody know.
That's right.
So
the inspirational quote.
Do you have an inspirational quote you want to give the people out there?
Right off the top of my head, you ready?
Off the top of your head. Don't
wait for tomorrow, because today's right now.
I mean, that's a fact. Don't nobody know who's gonna be here tomorrow, so that's a good one.
That's right.
That's a good one. Well, once again, Tommy, I want to thank you for coming through. Finally got you on the podcast and stuff, and super proud of you. For what you've been doing and what you continue to do over there. I mean, I don't have too many homeboys that I know who wrote books.
Man, thank you. That means a lot, man.
Once I think about it, I think you're the only one. Yeah.
I'll take that. The first, at least.
Oh, wait. Okay, I know another person. Okay. But yeah, and as we say every time before we get off, we our ending. Me and my co-host J.R. Dot, he couldn't be here today. We always say Cal and Jay day car at the end of the show. So that's what our guests have to do. So let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Go on and do it.
Ready? All right. Cal and Jay day car.
Woo, dang, he got it first.